There is only love. I invite you to feel that. I see that you already have felt that. You see, the body, the mind, the entire being recognizes truth when it is spoken, when it is sung perfectly like that. It's a resonance that cannot be missed. It's a recognition of what we are, who we are, how we serve. And so if there is only love, what does that make you? So say to the self, perhaps place the hand before the heart and say, I am love. I am loving. I am lovable. Now and forevermore. Feel that. Now I'm going to say it just a little bit differently. I am loved. I am loving. I'm lovable. Now and forevermore. Breathe that in. So what we are establishing in this sanctuary is a sacred container, that this service is not done by any one person ever, that it is a collective. And if you have showed up, you showed up to give of your vibratory field as well as to receive. And so in this holy instant, I invite an attunement of all of us who are in this vibratory field now. And if you are willing, I just simply invite you to repeat after me. I know who I am. I know myself as spirit. As spirit, I am unlimited and free. I know what I am. I am Christ. I am the extension of love itself. I am made in the image and likeness of my Creator. And I know how I serve. I'm a vessel for God. I'm a conduit of love. I am the arms and word of God itself. I am here only to extend love. Take a breath. Now I'm going to invite you to stand, if you are willing and able to please stand, to carry this vibratory field with you. And if you wish to just listen and receive, please just stay seated. But if you're standing, I'm going to invite you to turn to a beloved neighbor, or two or three, and I'm going to invite you to turn towards them. You're going to look at them. You're going to be in the energetic field of this individuation, and we are going to attune together. And as we do so, I invite you to open the heart. Are you ready? Say, yes, I'm ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
As you look at the other person, I ask you to say this: I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. Feel that. Feel that. And so take a breath. I know who you are. I know what you are. I know how you serve. And we are walking through heaven together now. And I'm going to take you with me. And so have a moment of acknowledgement, a hug, a wink, a nod. And then I invite you, as you are ready, to go ahead and allow the seat to capture your body, to support your body. But as you do this, I'm going to ask you to just shift around in the space that is holding you. To shift because you know who you are, what you are, and how you serve. Perhaps your posture is just a little bit different. And as we do that, then we carry on together with our conversation today, which is about reimagine. You see, we're reimagining, and what that means is that we are going back to the beginning. We're going back to the beginning, which is God, which is the God self that each of us is. You see, we've suffered from an identity crisis, and today we say no more. Say no more. No more identity crisis. I know who I am. I know who I am. So I'm going to show up in this way. I'm going to show up in this way. And so the idea then is that we are going beyond our previous thought, beyond our previous thought patterns, beyond the thought operating system of the past. You see, this is a new day. And in this new day, we are reimagining by going back to the beginning, to the mind of God. Because each of us is an idea in the mind of God, held there, now and forevermore. Why else can we say that our life is eternal, but for the fact and the truth that we live, move, and have our being in the eternal itself, as an idea, as an image that has been projected out as each one of us. And that projection means that we are made in the image and likeness of the Creator, which also means that we have the ability in this human experience, and this experience that we've called forth, to think independent of circumstances. Say, I can think independent of circumstances. I can look beyond appearances. I can think a new thought. I can think the thought of God. Whoa. We can, by going back to the beginning. And so as we reimagine, this whole idea of reimagining is that we are creating again. We're creating anew. And as we create anew, we must become willing to be made new. Now, sometimes we don't want to release what we know. It's kind of scary to say, I'm willing to be made new. But you know what? I have it on a video that you said it a couple weeks ago. And I'm holding you to it, right? Because here's the deal, it's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen anyway. It's the way things work. We're always being renewed. The body, the cells are always being renewed. We have new thoughts all the time. Hey, we're a new thought tradition. Aren't you sick of thinking the same old thoughts? It's like we are a tradition that is contingent upon the idea of embracing new thoughts, evolved thoughts, that we're always evolving. And that we do that by going back to the beginning, God. And we do that by becoming willing. So I'm going to invite a statement of willingness again. I am willing to be made new. I am willing to be made new. Try this one. I'm fearless in unity. I'm limitless in life. Feel that. Feel that. And so, as I'm being willing to be made new, there's something I must be willing to let go of. There must be something I'm willing to let go of. And I kind of mentioned it when Alicia was up here, even though it feels like sometimes there are losses in our life. In God, there is no loss, there is only gain. So the whole time I'm going to insert that thought. There is no loss, there's only gain. So in our willingness to be made new, in our willingness to take on new thoughts, and y'all have heard me say this before, I'm willing to be self-emptied and God-filled. Now, I've had people come up to me and say, well, you know, I had a new insight about what it means to be self-emptied. I've never really unpacked it here before. I've spoken it. And the very first time I really spoke it was when I was really afraid. And it was when I was at Agape International, and I was a practitioner of truth, a spiritual practitioner, and our platform duty required that we do various things on the platform, including what Don did today, and giving prayer and readings. And it was thousands of people, and I had never spoken in front of thousands of people, let alone give a prayer, right? And so as I went up, I remember uttering those words, may I be self-emptied and God-filled. And so we're going to be coming back to that throughout this conversation. But the idea is that when we're about to reimagine something, we become willing to be self-emptied, to be emptied of the ideas that we've had, the thoughts that we've had, the fears, the conditioned ideas, but we're also willing to let go of what has been, the good as well. We become willing just for a moment to suspend everything and to be fully in a receptive mode, unconditioned, without condition. Now, the best way that I know how to explain this is an experience that I had. So, in another life, which was about, I don't know, maybe 14 years ago, 13 years ago, I was in another career. I was working hard as a national salesperson, and so I was flying all over the country. I was kind of a trainer in a way in this type of sales, and I was working really hard. And I had this opportunity to go on vacation. So I took it. I went on vacation, and I went to a place in Jamaica, in Negril, Jamaica. Has anybody been there? Yeah, it's where all the cliffs are, and I have a picture of kind of what the place looked like where I stayed. And it's just stunning. It's beautiful. And the lodging, the huts that you live in, many of them are like tree houses. And so I was actually staying in a tree house, and beneath me there are coves, and the water is coming in. And so when you go to sleep at night, it's like you're part of the tide. It's like you're part of the sound bath, if you will, of the ocean, and being really right on top of it in a way. And the unique sounds of this particular landscape. And then during the day, you can walk all over these places and see, the beauty there. But if you want to get in the water, you actually have to jump in. And that's a little scary, but I love water, and I love, I tried this last week, but I don't know if you can see that right there, but that's a ladder. So once you jump in, you climb up out of that ladder. And I was not accustomed to this. It was a little scary. I have a lot of humility in the ocean. I swim well, but it's very clear I'm not a fish. It's very clear I am a fish out of water, so to speak, and when I'm in the water. And so there is a little caution, if you will, at least for me. And so one day, after being there for quite a while, the sky changed, and it was clear that a storm was coming. The sky was dark during the day, the winds picked up, the current picked up, and those ladders were pulled up and out, and there were signs that said no swimming on that particular day. And I thought, oh, wow. And I was walking around, And in the distance, I could see this majestic display of power and beauty. And it was the ocean itself, the water, the ocean itself, shooting up and over the cove. It was just so stunning and beautiful that I wanted to be near it. So I walked as close as I felt safe to it, and I sat down to watch it, to observe it, to meditate there. And it was something like one of these coves off in the distance. And this is what it looked like. So I couldn't get too close, but this is what I was watching. And what I noticed was that for that beautiful display of power and beauty to happen, as I observed the water and the movement of the water in the cove, what I noticed was that there was a rhythm before that happened. And in the rhythm, if you could watch it and even chart it, it was a very similar rhythm. The water would come into the cove on the far side, and then it would empty. And then it would come in, and it would like counterclockwise move around that cove. And with each movement of the tide like this, that cove emptied more and more. And it took a little while for it to come all the way around. And what happened was it was as if that water completely emptied, as if it was a bathtub and somebody took the plug out of the bottom. And all of the water went out. And then it came crashing in and up for that most beautiful display of power and beauty. And so take a breath with me here. That's what self-emptied, God-filled means to me. What am I being self-emptied of? I'm willing to allow the movement of life, the movement of the mind of God to carry me, to show me the things that it's okay to release. It's okay to release control. Does that hit for anyone? It's okay to release stress. You see, one of the things I've noticed about myself is that the way that I hold the busyness of my life, sometimes with stress or anxiety, has been a way of life, propelling me, I thought, to achieve. But what I learn now is that no, I release and I'm empty, and that there's something within me that moves me. What else can I be emptied of? I can be emptied of the fear of a beautiful expression as the mind of God. I can become emptied of the unknowing of how I might be used by Spirit. I can become emptied of, remember the flowers? My wish, God's plan. I can become emptied of the ways that I have limited the divine plan, the divine idea of me and my life. Can you, I want to see, are we connecting with this? Can you think of ways of what being self-emptied might mean for you? No judgment. So as the current is going, we begin to release the judgment that we have of whatever is happening in life. We begin to rather just love what is happening, because we are willing to be made new and to allow the current of life to empty us to the point where we're really willing to receive God's idea for us. Really ready to receive. Say, I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive. And take a breath there. Now, it doesn't mean that previous ways that we have created will not reappear again. That's not what it means. So those of us who are reimagining this community, those of us who are reimagining our lives, it doesn't mean that the things that we love will not reappear as our creation. But what it does mean is that we're willing to let go of our attachment for something greater. That's all. Which is why I say, in God, there is no loss. There is ever only gain. Breathe that one in. In God consciousness, in love consciousness, that when we align, when we become willing to be emptied of the small, egoic, separate, fearful self, controlling self, fretting self, that we open ourselves up to be more fully utilized by Spirit to bring forth the most beautiful, grandest expression of our lives, of our community, of our family, of our careers. Hey, just our way of being. See, a lot of times I think when we do this kind of exercise, we think, oh, I'm gonna be a big thing like that. You know, I'm gonna be this big Your way of being is really what we're cultivating here. Our way of being. Take a breath with me here. This is how, and these are repeats from last week, but I love these slides. And it fits with what we're saying. We're in the sea of knowingness. It is a spiritual idea corresponding to every single form, event, circumstance, condition, or experience you could possibly desire. This is the infinite mind. This is the ocean from which we are empowered in our lives. And so we take ourselves out of this sea of knowingness when we mistake our creations for cause. Remember last week I said there was a mutation that occurs when we don't attribute God as source in all that we endeavor to be and do. It says that a mutation occurs, and if we constantly look to the effects, the visible form will create a less than perfect manifestation or demonstration. But the beauty of it is this. What do? Oh, are you kidding me? Seriously, another phone ringing? We answer that call. We answer that call because that is the call to remind us to go back to the beginning. Back to the beginning, God. I did not plant that. Didn't do it. So the beauty of it when you realize, oh my God, I must be in a mutation experience, or this is less than what I thought it would be. That's a great moment. That's a eureka moment because it means that you've raised your consciousness enough to be aware. You've raised your consciousness to know, oh, I must be out of alignment in some way. I'm going to go back to the beginning, God. And we keep our focus on Spirit. You will keep a channel open. You will be an open channel for the externalization of Spirit according to the divine idea. We're recalibrating all the time. Take a breath here. So what we're doing, my loves, beloveds, is we're shifting. We as a community have said, and I've heard you, and I have it on video, we're willing to be made new, And it's not that we don't like what has been, we're just seeing it recreated and recalibrated once again with the divine idea from the sea of knowingness that informs us. So we're being willing to shift out of what I've called a transitional era that actually Alicia so beautifully summarized. You guys, we all have been through a transitional era. Are you willing now to shift into a transformational era? Because that's what this ReImagine is about. Are you willing? Yes? Say, I'm willing. I'm willing to move into transformation. You see, because what we've been told, that pain pushes until what? Vision pulls. Say, pain pushes until vision pulls. And I say, okay, but what if I'm okay letting go of pain pushes? What if I'm okay because of what I know now? That I'm just going to move right into vision pulling right now. I'm going to let go of the pain because I know vision pulls me. And so I'm going to shift my consciousness from there's something wrong to there's something right. And I'm going to look beyond appearances and I'm going to look for what it is, and I'm willing to be made new, and I'm willing to be transformed in this transformational era by the renewing of my mind. I'm willing to be renewed. There's power in our intention. This is an intentional idea that we are cultivating here. And in this experience, I'm inviting that we approach it with, hey man, I'm all in. I'm all in. Like, I'm all in. Go ahead, do that. Put your hand, I'm all in. If you can say it, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm willing to be made new. I'm going to reimagine. I'm going to join this community because you know what? How we do some things is how we do all things. And you might say, well, Reverend Renee, I am just not that thrilled about, being all in right now with the community, maybe. Because I got some things going on in my life. I'd rather focus there. But the same exercises we do for the community are the same exercises we do for life, are the same exercises we do for abundance and prosperity, are the same exercises that we do for relational harmony and anything and everything else that you want to call forth in your life. And so it's holographic. As we practice it in our community, we're practicing it in our lives. And as we are made new, guess what happens? The world is made new. And I think we can all get behind that right now, can't we? Take a breath with me. And so the invitation is that you join us today. We're going to start today. We're going to start being self-emptied and spirit-filled, and we're allowing vision to pull us forward. You're invited to our first community visioning since I've been here, which will occur during our forum. And it is in that practice, and it's one of several that we're going to be having. Because, look around. Do this. We're all part of it. Nobody did that. Come on. Come on. We are all a part of it. It's all of us. We're in it together. And so how grateful I am as we pause now and we go back to the beginning. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know who I am as spirit. Oh, yeah. I am unlimited and free. I know what I am as Christ, as the beloved, as the image and likeness of the Creator, as one in unity with all that is. That's what I am. That's what we are. And I know how we serve as channels of spirit, self-emptied, spirit-filled, that we are the conduit and the channel for love. Say, I know what I am. I know how I serve. And back to the beginning, I know who I am. Yes, thank you. And so in this stillness, we open. We become willing to release all the words that have been spoken, the sensations felt. And for a moment in this holy instant of stillness, I invite the all-pervading power and presence and beauty of Source itself, as vast and infinite as the ocean, as deep. And I let it move me, my thoughts, my feeling, the ideas, the images, however they drop in, I receive them now. Oh, I say, thank you, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, that in each and every holy instant I may be self-emptied, spirit-filled, that I may allow the divine impress of spirit to enter into my consciousness, and as it does, I become aware of it. My understanding of it expands. My knowledge, as I dip into the sea of knowingness, carries me in the most magnificent ways. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, that this is the way it works, that I'm willing to be made new by the renewing of this experience as love. I release this word. It returns fulfilled. Take a breath. And so it is, and so it is, and so I let it be. And I get into the flow of it as I allow this music to carry me.